Hi, it's Wasabi. Welcome back to the channel. Apologies for the last video, the audio quality. I think I've solved it. We'll have to see. Anyway, give me the comments. Let me know how that goes. Alright, we're on the Melanovka map. We've got Fury from Axel Clan. He's moved around a little bit, but that doesn't really matter. He's in the Manticore. Tier 10 light tank, one of the best light tanks in the game. This tier. And he's being challenged here directly by an AMX 13105, who probably isn't loaded yet. It's him, but unfortunately doesn't do any damage. And now everyone knows where he is. So he's going to try and dig out this 13105, I would say. That is in a very annoying position for his team. So let's see what happens. Might be perma spot at the moment. Yes, he is. Blind shots coming in left, right and centre. Now his team's lost a big chunk of hit points there. About 3,000, 4,000 hit points lost in the first minute. That's 39105. He's done a pretty good job, but let's find out how that really affects the game. Alright, so Fury deciding to head across the map there. This could give him an opportunity to shoot back at where the 13105 is, if you can get a safe spot to shoot from, of course. But when you're doing this, you need to check your minimap circles just to see that the tank is going to be in render range, and that looks like exactly where the 13105 is, but can he get a bead on it? Well, he needs him to be lit for a start. So he's not active. I know there he is. Okay, he needs to come back a little bit. Can he get a shot on him? No, he's actually quite protected there. He'd have to come a bit further around, and that would put him in a bit of danger there, you would think. Alright, back to the game. There are 3 tanks down now, and getting into a big hole here. They have down it even more as I speak. Lost another tank, and they're just on 14k. They're 10,000 hit points down compared to the enemy team. We haven't lost a tank at this point. A couple are taking damage a little bit. The 13105, of course, as we saw, and one of the DZT 159s. But nothing compared to what Fury's team have just suffered. Alright, now it looks like the retreat is on. They're heading to the forest. And this can be a bit dangerous for the attacking team if you've got some good spotters. TDs in the Arctic can basically take out quite a few of the tanks coming in. Depends on the firepower they've got, of course, the DPM, the Alpha they've got. But Fury just coming up here trying to spot the tanks, and he's already spotted one of the enemy DZTs, and he's been spotted at the same time. And there you go. The DZT gets taken out. So picks up some spotting damage in there, but he's lit and he needs to stay out of trouble. We've got an E5 who's also been spotted coming in there. Now Fury, of course, is rocking CVS, and that's essential in this environment, of course, to be able to penetrate the bushes. It does help if your target is moving. This is one of the aspects of CVS that perhaps people don't fully comprehend when they're first using it, that it doesn't really work as well, certainly if the target is stationary. Fury in a reasonable position here if, of course, there's no enemy light tank, or in fact a medium tank at this tier certainly can mount CVS, and there's the Charfouture for him. That would be dangerous, of course. He's possibly running CVS, and you can't tell, of course, just looking at the tanks. But Fury got a lead as soon as he fired, and partly that's the proximity, of course, but he was pushed up fairly well. And now he's double bushed, of course, because you can't see anything other than the outline of the tank as he is aiming. There's try and put some shots in. Goes for a tracking shot, and in fact he did get some tracking damage out of that vehicle. So he's up to 5k of assisted damage here. And he's completed some mission targets here. We'll maybe have a look at that when it gets a bit less hectic. But certainly plenty of targets around, and Fury just backing away, coming back in again, just trying to light these tanks here, trying to do some of his own damage if he can, of course. The reload time on the Manticore, not fantastic, of course, but does a reasonable amount of damage per shot. This E1 T110 E5, I should say, running away, and unfortunately that didn't connect, but he gets lit again, and the rounds start coming in. He does get tagged there by 113, so he has to retreat back again, still lit, but gets unlit of course, but they should expect him to come back, and that's going to be a bit dangerous for him. Certainly what you call a target-rich environment, at least it was until just now. This team have pulled back some kills, so they've evened out a little bit. They're only 3 tanks down now, and they're starting to even out the hit point differential. Of course, that will make the enemy a bit more cautious. I think 3105 actually doing a bit of a job here. He's taken out their Tier 9 light tank, so it's just Fury left, light tank on his team. The team also suffering the same disadvantage, of course. They've been a Tier 9 light tank, so it's 105 versus Manticore. Very lucky, he's got a nice pocket here that he can hide in, just rotating around, trying to avoid incoming artillery fire. And now someone's off base. This is a encounter battle, so there is only one camp area. We're just looking, he's got a target, can he do something about it? Yes, he can. Takes out the DZT, but it wasn't the one on the cap. It's actually a Griffin who would be out of render range actually, so it certainly helps to take guns out of the game whenever the opportunity presents itself. Pushes up one more time, trying to get a spot on the enemy, but they may well have retreated and decided to flank around. That wouldn't be completely surprising. So what is Fury going to do here? Now there's still just under 8 minutes left in the game. We're just getting towards halfway. That's plenty of time to change the pace of the game. And it looks like what the enemy team have done. Okay, 113 now crossing through the middle. Fury just looking to see if he can land a shot. Getting a full outline, but in fact he gets the kill, so not many hit points, but that was certainly worthwhile, getting a fairly dangerous tank out of the game. Right, Manticore goes down, gets a modicum of spotting damage from there, but he is up to 7, nearly 8k of spotting, so here he's just trying to find the tortoise. He's going to run out of bushes fairly shortly, and that could be dangerous for him. Swings around, yeah, he does get spotted, but at least he's spotted the Charpentier 4. Takes a big hit from Marty. 360, I swear Marty's getting more powerful as we go. But CS59 exposes himself by shooting at Fury, and he gets taken out as a result. So almost imbalanced in terms of tanks killed, but they're back in a hole again in terms of hit points, and that's not going to help as we're getting close to the end stage of the game. There's the 5. Fury might be able to dodge his gun. In fact, he was able to do that. E5 deciding that discretion is the better part of valor. He's not going to chase Fury around, and the arty just misses there. Could have been in trouble potentially if that had hit. That certainly stuns his crew, and that's going to stunt both his vision and his camo, and he's getting spotted right now. Guarantee that's the 13105, but he can't spot him back, and he takes a hit from the E5, but puts him down to one-shottable. That's okay, you can still play the game. Oh, and look, he's getting targeted by Artie. And more blind shots coming in, so Fury doing his best to stay out of trouble, but also get the spotting. Gets spotted again, probably by the E5 that time, but the E5 was concentrating on another target, luckily for Fury. Goes dark just at the right time, but he doesn't have a lot of support here. It's just him and the Scudder T50 who is really pulled back. Fury just circling around here, two purposes here. One, to be safe. Secondly, just to see if anyone's actually coming from that direction, because you can see from the mini-map, the 13105 last spotted. Oh, in fact, there he is. Alright, so Fury spotted him. Gets the kill. Luckily, the T50 doing his job. But the T50 must be feeling a bit sad because he's just been taken out. But he's also volunteer, so let's see how it turns up in the game. But now Fury is now on his own, and he is in the classic situation. He's got 5 enemy tanks against him, or vehicles, I should say, fighting vehicles. And if he can pull this off, there's no guarantee at this point. He's got 10% of the hit points remaining of the enemy team, so he's definitely one-shottable by a lot of tanks. Going to have to do is use his vision here, try and spot the tanks on cap, and there's some fairly protected spots on that cap area, by the way. You really have to come from the side or from the overwatch around D7 to really make the difference. But Fury, perhaps taking the time, he's got 4 minutes and there's still nearly 3 minutes to go on the cap timer. There's only one vehicle on the cap. Let's just spot the arty and do something about it. There's the M53, M55, but he's gone down in a hollow, so he's not spottable. Can he find the 261? And find them perhaps without being accompanied by the Tortoise or the Griffin. So now there's 2 vehicles on the cap. Now there's the 261, got his nice double pushed, gets rid of him. But that doesn't change the cap timer, but that's okay, there's still a minute to go. Now the Griffin will have most of the cap points, if that's the Griffin on the cap. Where's the Tortoise is the question. So, the closer he gets to this area, the more likely he's going to run into some enemy vehicles. So he's just looking to see if he can approach without getting spotted. That's the cap area. There's a bit of a rock there. Okay, there's the M53, M55. Now he should pull back here. He's going to get spotted if he flies. Yes, he does, and that's a bit unfortunate. Shot comes in towards him. He's going to have to really motor around to avoid getting hit. He's pretty exposed on this slope here. That looked like that was an arty shot. And he's got the arty lined up again. Gets the kill that time, but there's still the Griffin on the cap area. And now there's 2 tanks on cap, so potentially the E5 or the Tortoise has joined the Griffin. Definitely the Tortoise is there. But does Fury have enough ammo? I don't know. Okay, this is not going to work out. He fires a blind shot and resets the cap. Now that was pretty awesome, firing at the mini-map. But still only got 3 shots left, and there's 1800 hit points of enemy. You can't do 600 hit points per shot, so the question is, can he stay out of the gun range and get a draw? He's got a minute 45 to survive, if that's what his intent is. Yeah, there you go, it's just typed into chat, he's playing for a draw. Awakening Hide. This is a big map, of course, but the enemy's not completely immobile. They know roughly where he is, so they can come from either side. He could obviously sit in a bush and be fairly quiet and not get spotted, but there's no real guarantees there. So Fury needs to get at least another reset before he finishes and hides, because they will cap before the end of the battle timer. Otherwise, we're just looking back, it's 41 seconds to go and there's 54 seconds on the clock, so... Oh, there's the Tortoise, he's been spotted. Yep, okay, this is dangerous. He's not necessarily going to get the reset, and he's got to survive the Tortoise as well. The Tortoise has got a horrible gun on it. He fires once and misses. Fury can't afford to muck around here too much. He can't spot anyone on the cap. This is bad. 14 seconds to go. I don't think he's going to get the draw. One of them's going to spot him. Oh, another shot comes in, or he's going to drown. He's been spotted again. Oh, the tortoise is coming over the top. 14 seconds to go. No, I think he's in real trouble here. The tortoise is going to get him. Oh no, at the E5. Bad luck, Fury, mate. That's 11k over of combined damage. What a way to end the game. Disappointing result, but there's some compensation here. 3.5k of damage, 5 kills, and 10k of spotting. So 13k overall, 13.5k. And he's got some nice medals here. Pascucci's, of course, for knocking off 2 arties, always satisfying. The Scout medal and the Defender medal for basically reducing the cap points. You need at least 80 points of reset. And he's also earned the Ace Tanker badge, so let's look into that. All right, so he's finished well on top of his team, but only 1,006 base experience. But of course, he's on the losing side, and he's going to pick up the Courageous Resistance rewards there, which will add to his base. We'll check that out on the next screen. But more than double the EXP of anyone else on the team. Cobra coming in next and doing similar amounts of damage. And Fury actually coming in just in second place in damage there, which in a light tank, well, we do see that fairly often with good players. It's not necessarily the role of the light tank to do a lot of damage. And yeah, look at the 13105, definitely well played there. He probably came close to, if not picking up an ace tanker in that as well, doing really well. But let's just focus on Fury's game here. All right, let's have a look at Courageous Resistance. So a couple of things. So adds a little bit to your credits, nothing really special there, but it's really in the EXP. And this is where you'll see it here, is the base experience getting added, and this is what the ace tanker or the mastery badges are based on. Ace tanker, of course, being the top one, but it's all calculated on base experience. So it doesn't matter if you're running a premium account or not, it's all going to be based on your base. So you earned 1,006 base experience, got another 50% essentially for Courageous Resistance, so that gives him 1555 base experience, which in anyone's language is an ace tanker. And that is definitely well deserved there. It was a pretty hectic game, and he did his best to hold out, but nonetheless wasn't successful. All right, you've got your metrics here. So he fired 17 shots, 15 hits out of that, and 11 penetrations, one being splash damage. Of course, that was an HE shot. Did fire a bit over long range, but that was the nature of the game. Nothing wrong with that. Spotted 9 enemy tanks, damaged 9, destroyed 5 of them. So that's definitely a good play in anyone's language. Over 10,000 of assisted damage there, some of it with tracking, and he actually got 100 defense points on the cap, so that was it. Anyway, maximum reward for Fury in that tank, and definitely enough to add to his MOE challenge on what he's doing. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, apologies for the sound quality from the previous one. I think I have got to the bottom of that, but we'll see. I'll keep testing to make sure before we put the content out. That was my fault for the previous one. In any case, we'll have more great content to follow. Thanks very much for watching.